You could put in a sound effect here, like 3 muffled shots, thump, 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 and just complete silence.
No, I think it's just going to be. Hang on a minute. I think there's
Yeah.
there's somebody at the door. I'll be back in just a second.
And then you just drop a bag of flour to the floor, like thump.
It's just what is it? You're supposed to hit a cabbage with a hammer.
As you do.
Yeah. Well, they're Foley artists. I watched a program once about Foley artists, and apparently the most realistic sound of someone getting bludgeoned over the head is to hit a cabbage with a hammer.
Yeah.
And that sounds very realistic.
Crunch.
Where is a cabbage when you need it? It's never there.
And there's the episode title for the half pint. Where's a cabbage when you need it? Just firing them out today.
We should make a list of titles and say some are better than others to save for later.
I mean, looking back at our archive, I think some titles are really good. So I'm rather pleased with our system of just grabbing something that sounds good from the episode. Well, speaking of cabbages, I have had a problem lately with something eating stuff in the garden.
Welcome to the half pint, by the way. So, yep, continue.
Yeah.
Cabbage.
It's not cabbage. It's our string lights for the garden. Something has been gnawing on them because I realized that the one down in the garden didn't light up as it should. So I went down and checked it and pulled on the cord and got the cord in my hand because it was cut clean off. And it was a second one that didn't. It worked sometimes, which is odd.
These are the very colorful, blinky ones, isn't it? It's the neighbor. It's the neighbor.
I know it's not blinky. I'm not insane. I would never have blinky lights. I'm not a terrorist. But the other one, the line was muffled, but I followed it with my hand and it's like a zzz. Okay, that's where someone has been playing around. So I guess that it wasn't. There were no dead animal next to it. So I thought they just got a shock from it. But yeah, so I have to do some line repair in the weekend if we want the lights to be up.
I mean,
which we do.
Some of the stringy lights, I mean, the most I've seen is 36 volts. Maybe it's not killing very big animals, is it? Unless it's like industrial size 220 volts you're running, but
no, I don't. But I mean, the second one, it did. I mean, it was enough to actually generate a small spark. Not that it was wet out, but still, it had some power behind it.
A long time ago, it was Christmas time, and in the museum I was working in, the proprietor's wife was putting out some Christmas lights around the place, and she complained that there was a dead bulb. I said, "Well, there's spares in the box, so just pull it out and put a new one in." And this bulb had broken, so there's exposed wires. And I thought nothing of it until I heard a shriek come from the next room. And so, "You just told me to pull it out." I said, "Well, yeah, turn them off first, obviously." She didn't, but it's only 5 volts, just a little tickle, really. Makes you feel warm and fuzzy for a while.
You know, this is something that our kids will never understand. It is when my parents went to bed, the way they turned off the Christmas lights was that they twisted one of the bulbs because it did not have a switch. So you could pull the plug, but that was behind by the wall. So you just twisted one, and we figured out which one it was, and it was the same one for at least that Christmas. And then one of the bulbs went out, and they're all in series, right? So then you have to get a new bulb and hope that one works, and then you just have to start at one. Nope, it wasn't this one. And next one, nope, it wasn't that one. And then hopefully before you got to the last one, you figure out which one's broke. That's really not an issue anymore.
No, not with your modern LED.
No.
The ones we've got now, they don't really even they're just it's almost like it's just wire with LEDs just in line. There's no bulb holder.
Yeah, it's no fun.
It's no fun. I was thinking this must give you electric shock, surely, but no, it doesn't. Something clever going on there.
What we did, and it kind of annoys me that a lot of these lights now are battery driven. So we're buying a bucket of batteries every Christmas. But we did get Christmas tree lights that looks like old time candles, but they take AA batteries or AAA. I'm not sure. And they have a remote control, and you place them around. But of course, the remote control is infrared light, which is very bad. So it has to be in line sight with us. So you have to walk around the tree and press on 3 or 4 times for all of them to light. But in theory, I like the remote control part. But they look kind of decent, and they cost next to nothing. But still, I don't get to twist the light bulb.
Good line of sight. That reminds me of some very, very early wireless headphones that my dad bought himself for Christmas, I think it was. And these things cost an absolute fortune. And they were really heavy and really uncomfortable. And they worked over infrared. And so you had to plug this base unit in with this great big chunky transformer and plug that all into your stereo. And then you had to sit directly in front of the stereo in order for it to work. If you moved just out of line of sight with this thing, you just get the and then no music.
Oh God! How can someone have a product like that?
I don't know. I don't know who made it. This was 30 plus years ago now, and I just remember them being really expensive and really crap.
I remember the first VHS player we got. It had a remote control.
Fancy.
But it was on a cable. It wasn't wireless. So usually you just went and pressed play because it was a hassle and a tripwire in the living room. But sometimes it's like, you plugged it in, and I think it was like a 3-pin connector where you put it in and you had to screw it to keep it secure in place. And it had like 3 buttons on it. It was play, stop, and fast forward. That was the functions that they thought you'd need. No reverse or something like that. And then, I remember that remote control was not the same size as the VHS player itself, but not far off it. I mean, you could kill someone. If someone broke into your house while you had that remote control, you could bludgeon them to death with it.
Our first VCR were a lot more modern, but it had a function I've never seen anywhere else, and that was a barcode reader. So you had a big sheet like an old-timey newspaper with different barcodes. Okay, I want to program the VCR to record something on Monday at this time, this hour, and this minute, and this second, and stop at this minute. So you had to. It was a really weird way to program it.
Now we're talking. Now we're back to the spy stuff. This is brilliant. You have a sheet with barcodes, and I want something, and then beep, 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 beep. Now it's programmed.
Do you remember Barcode Battlers? Did you ever have those video games?
No, I don't think so. No.
I'll find it in the show notes. But
it sounds very much 80s. Great.
This was 90s.
Early 90s?
But it was early 90s, yeah. And it was a pretty cheap LCD video game. But the idea was it came with some barcodes, but then you'd go out into the world and just pull barcodes off cereal boxes, magazines.
Oh, yes. Now that you say it, I've heard of this, yes.
And then you just randomly find that, you could scan this barcode and it gives you like extra power or whatever.
Yes, I've heard.
I never had one, but I knew someone who did. And that was a fun game, just running around the house, just ripping barcodes off stuff.
It's going to a supermarket and scanning everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And we had Video Plus as well, where if you had a Video Plus VCR, in like the Radio Times or the TV Times, the TV Guide, every program had like a 6 or 7 digit code next to it, and you put that code in, and then that would come over the air to say that this is the show that's being transmitted now. I better record that.
Nice.
All this clever stuff, all gone forever. The kids don't know they're born. Or how difficult we had it.
Yeah, there
That
were some really clever and really stupid solutions back in the day.
Yeah.
But that would have been brilliant in radio then, because I remember sitting with my cassette player with my fingers on record and play, waiting for the radio to play the song I want to record, and not talking over the intro or cutting it short. And then you just, all right, I like this one. So in some places I have a lot of mixtapes of things that I've recorded off of radio, where you can hear the half intro and some of the solos are cut short, which is annoying. But yeah, nostalgia.
Yeah, that was me in that time when computers, I mean, mid 90s, you have had a computer, but I didn't have internet until late 90s, early 2000s, at home at least. Not good. So I had some radio programs I really liked. So I just record them on cassette and then listen back to it. And the good parts I recorded on the computer as an MP3 file as well to save it. That's old school.
You got your MP3, and then you transferred that over to your mini disc player.
If only I had a mini disc player.
I know. I'm sure I've said about this before, but periodically at work we'd have big turfs out of this old tech. They're never going to need this before, and we threw away like really high quality tape recording machines, like field tape recording machines, not a Walkman, but
actually radio program style.
Radio program style, XLR input microphones, leather cases, shoulder strap, binned them. No one's ever going to use. Oh, I wish I hadn't done that now. And we threw away a load of mini disc players as well.
Yeah, but you can buy.
I wish we hadn't thrown those.
I mean, if you really want one, you can easily buy them on eBay for £5,000.
Yeah, an arm and a leg.
For considerably more than what they cost new. Yeah,
you
can if you really wanted to.
I did. I mean, they have dropped a bit in price in Norway after they dropped the FM band. But first year in college, I worked every Saturday at a recycling plant with 2 friends. And of course, the main job was one used a front loader to get electrical crap and put that on the line of a belt. And then we swapped places, so it was cutting wires and throwing that in one skip, and then circuit boards in another, and whatnot. And sometimes some radios came, which I know that these are. It has a cult following because it's a Norwegian brand radio that's non-existent anymore, but people are restoring them and using them, and parts you could sell. So I just put them to the side, plug them in. Do they light up? Yes, no. And I tested them when I got home to see if they work. And then I remember I just put one down, did not work, put it on eBay, forgot about it. And then some random bloke called me. And I'm like, yeah, it's about that radio. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I won. Oh, I forgot about that. And I went, and it's like, I think he paid £350 for it. Broken, unseen. And I like, as a student, that was bare money for a couple of weeks. So I was in heaven. So I shipped it to him, and he sent me a message that his son restored it for him. And it was like one transistor that wasn't working other than that. So it was like a £2 fix. And I just kept, putting them aside, and I still have some. I remember one batch of this really green industrial military transmitting equipment, and I'm so sad I didn't keep the boxes. I just took the handles off, And I still have those in a box, and I use them when I'm building boxes or whatnot. I have these spring-loaded industrial handles to put on, but I did not have room at it that time. But yeah, this was probably 40 boxes or something, and it probably costs like £5,000-6,000 a pop if you bought them at that time. But you couldn't buy them because they were military issued. So, but they just scrapped them. So still, it wouldn't be good money working at a place like that today, but it's almost like once a month you should spend 2 hours at that, like, because sometimes some gems just people throw the weirdest stuff away.
I would need a hangar,
Mm.
an airplane hangar,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna work in a place like that, because all the things I would want to take.
Did I tell you about my trip to the tip a few weeks ago, and the lady with the metal toolboxes? Did I
No.
tell you about that? No. Ah. I went to the tip with some crap from the garage, and as I was there, there was a lady unloading stuff from her car, and she, in each hand, she had what appeared to be perfectly good toolboxes, metal toolboxes, not cantilever style ones at the top, but they were like the pyramid ones.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the fold over on the top, and there's a lift out tray, blue one, a red one, and these look in perfectly good condition. And she was just strolling towards the metal skip. So I said to her, "You're not throwing those away, are you?" And then what she said to me was, "Well, you're not having them," and over they went.
What? Oh, that is. Oh,
What?
I know.
That's not nice.
No,
we
Don't do
had.
that.
but as a friend pointed out, it's almost as if, well, these have got value, but I can't be bothered to sell them. So you're not having them for free.
Yeah.
Clearly you want them, but you're not going to pay me for them. So no, you can't.
I mean, she could have said you can have them for a tenner or something like that, and you
I
could
said
have
I
said
had-
no, and then she can throw them away.
Exactly.
It-
Yeah,
it-
I had cash in my pocket. I said, I'll give. Yeah, I could have said, I'll give you a £5 or a £10 or whatever. Yeah, these look perfectly good. Probably full of nice old Sorby chisels as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
This old tat that she wants to get rid of.
But that's sad though. I have a similar story in my old town. They had a recycling plant, and this was before they had some shipping containers set up where you could put usable stuff for people to pick up. And we kind of early in the 90s we accepted and housed refugees from Bosnia, and of course they did not have much, so they went there to see what people were throwing away, because they were given an apartment, but they did not have much money buying stuff. But of course, I used sofa and whatnot is nice, and some extra cutlery or whatnot. And I remember a colleague of mine, he got so annoyed because they were waiting there. So if you drove in with your trailer full of stuff, they were sizing it to see if there was something, because if it looked usable, they would go and like take it or ask, could I take this before you throw it in the skip and it gets proper broken. And this one colleague is like, yeah, that annoyed him so much that if he came and he saw that they were like sizing up his trailer, and he went out of the way to really break stuff before he threw it in the skip, and it's like, why? You're gonna throw it away. You dislike that thing so much that you're taking time and money to drive to somewhere to throw it away, but you're too petty to give it away to someone who needs it. And it's this annoys me.
There's a YouTube channel which you might enjoy then. It's called, you may even know it, the Post-Apocalyptic Inventor.
Yes,
I
have
did not know about
seen
that.
back
Yeah.
in some,
Yeah.
It rings a bell.
I think, I'm pretty sure he's a German fella, and he is a German fella. And he goes to the scrapyard and collects broken stuff. I think he's building his entire sort of off-grid rig somewhere in Germany.
But it's sad though, if it's not put into the recycling container, you're not allowed to take anything.
Mm.
And that annoys me. I understand the safety aspects of it because they are running heavy
Yeah.
industrial equipment and squishing the container content to make room for more stuff. And if a ginger bearded bloke was underneath that metal pile because he wanted that specific dolly wheel for a project, then it would be unfortunate. So I kind of understand it. And then I seen the video of Laura Kampf on that recycling plants in
Yeah.
the States. I mean, they are the consumer society 101. So the stuff that she finds there, but she has talked to them and she gets access. And that, I think, could I befriend the people there? Like, hello, I do this, but instead of buying things at the hardware store to break it down and weld it, can I, for a set day of week or whatever, is there someone I can call and like, okay, I would like that thing. Is it okay to put it aside and I can pick it up by the gate at closing time or something? I mean, as long as you talk to them, but
Yeah.
then again, it's sometimes it would be twice a week, and then it would be a half year, and then they probably got some new employees and whatnot, and they are not aware of this, and then they come like, "Why are you stealing this?" And yeah, you have to talk to him, and now he's quit, and it seems like a hassle, but
Sorry, I'm trying to save the world, but I didn't get the memo.
Yeah, I wish
think-
there were some kind of scrap yards where you actually can go buy stuff. Because
know.
all the ones around here are, yeah, we buy your scrap. Yeah, but I want to. Can I buy from you?
Yeah. I see
Yeah.
so much every time I go to the tip and look down in the skips at the stuff that people have thrown away. It's just like there really is no hope for us, is there?
no.
I think someone worked
Yeah.
out that we could just stop manufacturing, not food and stuff like that, but just stuff. Stop manufacturing stuff for 1 year, and you know what? There'd still be plenty of stuff
Yeah.
I think
for people to buy.
I think it's a company in Norway that's called Restarter, and they are affiliated with the maker community, and I think they went bankrupt or close to, but then they got some funding again from some, uh, what's it called when you're giving out free money for something? Yeah, never mind. They got some money, so they are arranging like this weekend we are in this city, and you can come here if you have broken electronics or something, and it's people with basic repairing skills that they're fixing washing machines and radios and whatnot, and then for every event they sum this is the total net worth of the equipment new that we just saved by repairing, and it is hundreds of thousands every weekend they're fixing. And
Mm.
it is very much so. I mean, if you could fix something instead of buying new, you would reduce the I saw some numbers of what you could reduce of CO2 and garbage and landfills, and it's like, yeah, if you just repaired or if you used your cell phone for 1 year extra, it would save the economy billions of dollars and the rainforest and whatnot, and it's insane.
Yeah.
We can repair things and we could use things for longer, and these big companies who sell you the stuff always talk about their environmental responsibility, but I think their environmental responsibility, and we take it very, very seriously, but not as seriously as we do making lots of money
Yeah.
from selling you shit you don't need
Yeah.
or selling you new shit. There's nothing wrong with your old stuff, but we've built in some obsolescence. So no, you can't have the latest update or the latest update. Oh yeah, that bricks your device. You're gonna have to buy a new one.
But we might, at least in a very narrow niche, we might be saved by the economy, and it's kind of weird. I mean, in the main episode, we talked about how I need to hard reset my phone, but I just saw an article now that because of AI and a lot of companies they're buying up, you can struggle today getting a hard drive or memory for your computer or a graphics card, the prices have tripled over the last year. And all the big companies are buying up all the microchips and whatnot because they need them for the huge data centers. So that means that the next generation mobile phones, instead of having 16 gigabytes of RAM, they're back at 8 and maybe 4. So, of course, it might be overkill. I mean, if I'm looking at my phone, I'm never using the processing power in this. This is more processing power than many of the computers I've owned. And I mean, most people just use them for Instagram and scrolling the news. So you don't need all that power. And now the components are expensive. And yeah, so we're giving you more cameras and more lenses. And then they're just quietly toning down the specs on the phone. So if my phone breaks now and I'm going to buy a new one, I might not get one as powerful as this one because they are slowly downsizing them again, which I find kind of amusing.
One day we'll go back to being using slim client terminals connecting to mainframes, which are all being run by the AIs.
Yes.
You don't need all that processing power at home. You just need a browser.
Exactly.
That's a terrible world, and I hate it.
Yes, definitely so.
And then again, I mean, if you give it a couple more years extra, and then still in a drawer upstairs, I have my all metal case Nokia phone. The only issue with it doesn't run apps, so it's a bit of a hassle with two-factor in and so on. But
hard,
also, the other issue is in Norway now they just phased out the 3G network and the 2G. So
yeah,
I'm pretty sure if I turn it on, it would struggle finding a network that actually works, even for calls and SMS. So, and that is kind of sad.
There is a particular group of nerds whose name escapes me at the moment, who have, because you've got a lot of people into the retro computing scene. And if you've got old computers, their hardware security certificates expired years or decades ago. So they just can't, they could have connected to the internet once, but they can't anymore. So they've invented basically a halfway house, an interpreter, an internet interpreter, I suppose. So you have this thing on your network, you connect your ancient PCs to this box, and then this box goes out and asks stuff for Google. So you can use
it's an advanced router, basically.
It is an advanced router, yeah. But it's sort of piping stuff through it. I'm not explaining it very well. It's got a name and I can't remember it, which is useless if you're listening and you're sitting there in the car going, yes, I need to know what this is, and I can't remember what it's called.
So it's a translator from like ancient English to modern English.
Pretty much, yeah. So you just need some sort of box which your your 2G phone can connect to, and then that can connect to a 5G network.
A 5G to 2G converter locally.
Yeah.
I find it amazing. I saw a video last week, I think, Linus Tech Tips, and he has read some statistics somewhere that there are still several thousand people, this is of course the United States, that still are using dial-up internet. And he thought, how good is dial-up internet in 2025? So he brought out some old computer and a modem and connected, and of course got instantly sad by that USB modem did not make the funny noises that he remembered. So you didn't get the nostalgia trip when logging on. But it's like the most simplest Wikipedia page, which should be only text, but it had some pictures in there. And of course, the pictures are uploaded like 3-4 megs. Not a big deal today, but in the olden days, you would have converted them and downsized them into a very low bit version that loads faster, and then you have to click on it if you want to spend 2 minutes downloading the entire one full resolution. And Like he struggled reading his own Wikipedia article because it had a picture in it, and it took minutes to load. And then, of course,
Yeah.
the connection timed out because too little happened, too slow. So it's like there is something wrong here.
Yeah. I do not miss those days.
No, I think you can get nostalgic about it, but yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
But also, it was a lot simpler,
Yeah.
which is possibly a good thing.
But I've said this a lot of time, and I probably repeated that on this podcast several times as well. It was a threshold that time that when you went on a web page, you needed a basic set of technical understanding to make a web page work. So you know that this is a person of, like, no matter what he's writing about, he's at least smart enough to get it to work, which is like a good set of quality controls. But today, I mean, with an app, you can make your own web page with 3 clicks and just fill the
Yeah.
content with AI dribble that nobody human has ever written. And
Everything looks like WordPress garbage.
yeah,
The same layout styles, and nothing is personal anymore. Fake polish.
where's that 8-bit GIF of an excavator with under construction on it?
Yes. Yes.
Then you know
Right.
that this is the proper internet.
Exactly. I'm firing up Netscape Navigator, and I'm gonna look at the internet.
Yes. Yes.
Frog Find is what I was looking for.
I think I've heard about that actually.
Devised by someone. There's a chappie on YouTube who does a lot of. Well, his whole YouTube is retro computing, called Action Retro. I will stick a link in the place where the links go.
Great.
Nice.
And now that we got a bow on that, let's end the half pint before we think of something else we don't remember, because that would just be sad.
Good plan.
Nice.
So,
Then
yeah, have a good one, and have a wonderful Christmas, because between this half pint and the next main episode, Christmas is gone.
It's gone like a fart in the wind.
Yes.
What were you worried about?
I forgot. Yeah, this is the half pipe, which means that. I mean, the next episode is going to be before New Year's, then, so we can still talk about
Yes.
the Christmas Kahoot that I have invited myself to host at work without checking the recent development at Kahoot. So let that be a cliffhanger for next week's episode. because
Double cliffhanger.
This is a doozy. I mean, not doozy like Die Hard, but it's a funny anecdote.
Sounds good.
Have
Have a great one, everyone.
Have a lovely one.
Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.